Hey guys, let me start by saying that I really appreciate all the new subscribers, the attention. Yes, I even got a new hater, as you can see in the comment section. But this is probably going to be my last video on abortion for quite a while. This is my response to the Catholic Answers debate that I said I was going to be doing a response to. And also, there was something with the video where it was protected. I could not download it, load it. I signed up for YouTube Premium. I did everything I could, but I just couldn't quite find a way to download it, so I had to use a little old-fashioned of a way. I hope it doesn't ruin the video for you, and by all means, enjoy.
I don't want to oversimplify our differences. Pro-choicers generally advocate for the life of the woman, and pro-lifers generally advocate for the life of the fetus.
Okay, so this is something you may have heard. Well, how come pro-lifers don't talk more about the woman? Well, it's because the woman isn't at risk of dying. It's kind of like if, imagine Michael Myers is coming to kill me. Now, Michael Myers might be coming to kill me because he's suffering from severe mental problems and he's a freaking psycho who needs psychiatric help. I understand that. I truly hope he gets the help that he needs one day. But can we talk about how my life is at risk here and how I hope I get more protection and more attention because I'm the one at risk of dying here? Yeah, sure, the person who is suffering mental problems and is coming to kill me, I feel bad for them, I hope, and we can certainly talk about that after you save me. This is one of those common sense things, doesn't take Einstein to figure out.
End up putting the value of the right to life for the fetus against the value of the right to life for the mother.
Okay, so to be fair here, she is talking to Catholic Answers, the guy who runs that. I've already made it perfectly clear where if we have to choose between the life of the unborn or the life of the mother, I would be okay with allowing abortion to save the mother. So there's really nothing to say here. The guy in his debate, from what I saw, didn't really make it perfectly clear whether he would be okay with that. But as far as I am concerned, I wouldn't do that. I would say abortion is okay to save the mother.
Reproduction, including abortion. Number 3, and this is a big one for feminists, is men need to start taking more responsibility for their children, and not only financially. And 4, abortion must be considered a right in the first trimester.
Okay, well, no, absolutely not to that last thing she said, that no, abortion must be a right for the first trimester. No, absolutely not. Disagree. But then she brings up that stuff about how, well, for feminists, it's very important. Men have to be more in tune with their child. Well, then maybe you should give men more of an opportunity and a voice when it comes to the well-being of their child, including abortion. Stop cutting men out of the conversation. She's actually going to do this later, and I'll call it out when I put it. But it's going back to the Dave Chappelle argument. You want men's help? Start letting men have a say. It's that simple.
Abortion is illegal to preserve what we call life. What will you do about the scores of women who will die from illegal abortions? Is this merely a consequence of their sin? Will the pro-life movement stop at protecting the unborn and then leave the women who will continue to seek abortions, as they always have and always will, vulnerable to infection, maiming, or even death?
Will pro-lifers always leave women vulnerable to those things? Well, you did just say we would, so what's the point of me even answering you? This is what happens when you try to sound too tough in the middle of a debate. You actually just sound like an idiot. I'm so tired of being morally blackmailed like this. Trey, we have to let women kill their kids, or else they might get hurt trying to do it. Trey, we have to let drug addicts shoot up in safe shoot-up locations, or they might die trying to do it. Trey, we have to provide date rape drugs in safe rape locations for rapists to take the victims, because rape is so bad and nasty when it happens in the back alleyways and in school bathrooms. We have to have safe rape locations. Now, to be fair, no one ever said that last thing, but it's about as stupid as what you just said. We as a society, do not combat evil anymore. We find ways to tolerate it, and that is bullcrap.
Question. And my position today is that we ought to take away from the state the power and the ability for them to decide questions of family planning, including abortion. Because the question today is, should abortion be legal? And I'm answering that question, yes. And I'm arguing that question, yes, because I think questions related to reproduction ought to be handled by women, they ought to be handled by our families, and they ought to be handled within our communities. And it's not for the state to decide.
Unless, of course, the woman's family or the community are all pro-life and don't want her to get an abortion, then all of a sudden we're being sexist and we're taking away a woman's rights. Be careful, because not everybody thinks like you.
For women to be oriented towards values of care. When a woman chooses to abort a fetus, she takes on a more masculine position and decides a matter of life and death.
Okay, so remember in my other video how I said I thought this woman was actually pretty smart because she admitted the fetus is alive and it is a human? You know, that was pretty nice of her. There are 3 points throughout this debate, and I'll call them all out when I show them to you, that make me take that comment back and seriously question how smart this woman truly is. This is one of them. The real reason, it's not any of the religious or the scientific or the basic you shouldn't kill children. No, it's none of that. The real reason for why pro-life people don't want women to get abortions is because it's too masculine. Yeah, this is what men are all about. You ever hear of Freddy Krueger? He's killed a bunch of children. Most masculine man I've ever heard of. He's an inspiration to every little boy right before he claws their face off. Yeah, Freddy Krueger, masculine hero. Killing children, that's what men are about. What the hell are you talking about, woman? Imagine right now if I was to say, well, the real reason that women want men to provide for the children and to pay money after they end up, getting a woman pregnant. See, the real reason that they want men to do that is because taking care of children is a feminine trait. See, they just don't like it that men are being more feminine. They want men to start taking care of and interacting with their children more. I sound like an idiot, but it's about as good as what she just said. Alright, next clip.
Sounding too radical, I suppose. I think it's really interesting that every time I've been asked to debate this issue, I've been debating a man, right, for this question. And I wanted to sort of point out the obvious because the question of whether or not abortion should be legal is actually a question that will never have to be answered in terms of a man's life or a man's body. So when we think about how easy it is to perhaps champion for the unborn when it's not your body, it's not your career, it's not your life that's at stake. And even further, the ways in which there are plenty of women who end up aborting fetuses at the request of their partners, male partners.
Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Yep, there it is. Men, we need you guys to step up and be more involved in your kid's life. But not like that. See, we're going to discount your opinion because, you're a man. But we still want your help. You guys got a funny way of asking for help. And just in case you think this is only my interpretation of what she said, here's the very next thing that the dude she's debating responds.
What we're debating today is whether abortion should remain legal or not. And typically, when we make things illegal, they are reduced. I mean, imagine if speeding was no longer illegal. You might drive a little bit faster to get to class, wouldn't you?
I honestly wish I would have let that play out a little longer, because he actually then goes on to point out how you don't have to be a victim of something, or at risk of being a victim of something just to be against it. For example, and this is what he says in the debate, my opponent is a woman. She is probably opposed to a military draft, even though, as a woman, she's not in danger of being drafted. Nice.
Trent is right, and we are talking about the law. And so when talking about the law, there are plenty of things that are wrong that most people would agree that we wouldn't want laws enacted around, right? So war is wrong, but I think it's incredibly problematic to talk about dismantling the military, right? Alcoholism is bad for families, it's bad for communities, creates dysfunction within families, violence, but I don't think that we should make drinking illegal. This would get in the way of my plans tonight in a very real way. But in all seriousness, and cigarettes as well, right? So there's plenty of things that aren't necessarily good for us, or that we believe are wrong, that we also think, we also think that the state shouldn't be involved in. So,
Okay, class, who can tell me why what she just said was an epic fail? Anyone? Anyone at all? Raise your hand. Well, I'll fill you in. Let me ask you this. Is the state involved in tobacco and alcohol? Yes. Well, the tobacco and alcohol, these are things we won't want the state involved in. What planet are you from? The state is involved in these things. When I go to work and I work at a gas station, I gotta check someone's ID. If they're too young, I can't give it to them. Why? Because the state says so. Fun fact, the reason the state is involved is to try and make sure there are no unnecessary deaths of young people. Kind of like what pro-lifers are trying to do. She talks about how every time I've been asked to debate this topic, it's been a man. Crap, if this is the best women can do, I understand completely. Heck, Christian, atheist, Muslims, all of them are about men. I guess you, for whatever reason, just chose to walk right into the crosshairs. Thanks for that.
Unborn actually have. So how far should the state go to protect the lives of the unborn? So will there be restrictions on women's activities, on women's bodies? Will there be mandatory prenatal care? Will there be mandatory screenings and checkups and prohibitions from women being able to work in certain locations because of their fragile state as pregnant? So we open up a whole host of questions.
I, honest to God, wish she would have kept going. So what? And then after I give birth, what? I'm going to have to feed it? And then what? And then I'm going to have to take time to play with it and take care of it? And when it cries in the middle of the night, I'm going to have to get up and then what? I'm going to have to make sure it's hydrated, and if it gets sick, take it to the doctor? And then what? When it poops its diaper, I'm going to have to change it? And then I'm going to have to sign up for school when it gets older? She sits there and goes, we're going to have to start asking ourselves some very important questions. The answer to all those questions is yes. Yes, if you have a child, you will be expected to take care of it. You know what, my fellow Christians? Maybe we were too harsh on the Amalekites. Yeah, remember the people in the Bible who were sacrificing their children? We call them evil. Same thing with the Romans. We call them evil because they would throw the babies off cliffs and commit infanticide, before the Christians put a stop to it. Maybe we were too hard on them because we thought they were evil. But no, just like this woman in this debate, maybe they are legitimately so freaking stupid, they just don't comprehend taking care of a child if you have one. I used to joke that I was God's gift to women. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm drop dead gorgeous, but I never believed it. I might be, because without me, certain women wouldn't know the simple, basic fact. Yes, if you have a child, you need to take care of it. This is some next level stuff. When I heard that, I just imagine, I don't even know. At that point in time, I shut the debate off. I only watch the debate if I think maybe there's a chance I'll change my mind. But even if we take only half of what I've shown you here today, she has completely struck out. Yeah, I'm not interested. If you want to sit here and watch this debate and watch this man explain, or should I say mansplain, some simple basic facts to this woman, go ahead. The video is in the description. Like, there's another part where she says, well, how are we going to stop and lower the rate of being abortions? And this is right after the dude brings up studies and quotes experts saying that, when you outlaw something, surprise, surprise, it tends not to happen. And that's actually the very next thing he says in the debate. Says, well, I just said that when you outlaw something, you tend to not do it anymore. You ever see the movie The Purge? You know why The Purge is so scary? Because when something's not illegal anymore, people do it. I mean, my God, Lord, have freaking mercy. That's it. It's the end of the video. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.